The replay is cursed. Alright, here we are. Looks like we're going to see a similar army to what we saw last time. As a matter of fact, the exact same army as we saw in the previous best of 3, where it was Wood Elves versus Norska. So we'll see how this Wood Elf army here, just to refresh everybody, fares against a Lizardmen build. So we have the 5 Eternal Guard. We're going to have the Aserai Spears and some Dryads in the backline, 3 Glade Guard, 2 with Starfire Shafts, and 1 with Hagbane Tips. And then we're going to have the Waystalker here with the Arrow of Kurnos and the Eye of Kurnos. We have a Glade Lord with Pravine Threma and Arrow of Kurnos. We're also going to have a Great Eagle in the back. Now, have that Hagbane Tip Glade Rider and then some Wild Riders with shields. And actually, I lied. It's not the exact same army because these aren't the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. And then for the caster, I do believe we have Shadows. Yes, we do. And Penumbral Pendulum, Enfeebling Foe, and Malakos Mystifying Miasma with the Power Stone going to be on top of a horse. Now, full speed that shit. And here we have... Oh, Arrow of Kurnos going down, going after the Lizardmen Cavalry. Going to kill a model, but the first one was nicely dodged. We're going to have 4 Chameleon Skinks out in the front here. They have 40% missile resistance, so always a nice unit to see on the field of battle against a skirmish-heavy faction like the Wood Elves. And some nice dodges there by the Glade Lord initially. 1 second. I just realized GrayestWolf does not have a Lizardman banner up. This is not a Wood Elf mirror match, everybody. Don't want any confusion here. Now, for the rest of this Lizardman army, we're going to have Skink Cohort, looks like 4, 2 on either flank, Skink Cohort with jabs, and then we have 3 Saurus Warriors with shields, 2 Cold One Spear Riders. We're going to have a Bastiladon with the Solar Engine and make that 2. And other than that, we have our leader. And the leader is going to be a Salon Mage Priest of High Magic. Going to have Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Aura of Quetzal, Blood Statuette of Spite, as well as Tempest, Hand of Glory, and Apotheosis with Greater Arcane Conduit. So, here it goes. As an E instead of an A. Oh, thank you, buddy. Pausing it again, everybody. I know you're confused. I was saying GrayestWolf was here, and you're like, but that's GrayestWolf. So, whew. Glad we could clear that up. Let's get back to the battle. So, we're in full swing now. The Solar Engines are shooting away at the Hagbane Tips. The Glade Guard are pushing forward to start counter-skirmishing these Chameleon Skinks. They do have that 40% missile resistance, like I said, but they're not immune. So, still going to be able to get some damage over time there. And yeah, both players being pretty cautious, keeping their formations well dressed, and Arrow of Kurnos is going to be flying again, once again, into the Cold One Spear Riders, doing some nice damage, killing off models. The Glade Lord and the Waystalker are also firing at them with their regular ammunition as well. Apotheosis going down, but of course that will not heal those dead models. So at the end, these guys are taking some pretty significant casualties, and so far it looks like the trades are even, though. You know, the Solar Engines getting a lot of damage on top of these Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. The debuff with the blinded effect also affects their accuracy, which is a nice bonus. And the Lizardmen have taken some damage too. Obviously, we've seen on the Cold One Spear Riders, Chameleon Skinks are all taking a good little bit of damage there. A good little bit. And yeah, it's too close to tell. Balance of power is still dead even, maybe slightly Wood Elf favored, but Lizardmen still have quite a lot of infantry to bring into the battle, and if the Wood Elves can't protect it well, then they'll be in a lot of trouble. But oh no! This is a huge play. The Lizardmen got a Tempest on top of the Glade Lord. She is minus 72 speed. Chameleon Skinks were in range, and the Bastiladons with the Solar Engines were both focusing, and this could be the play that wins it for the Lizardmen. And followed up by a devastating Penumbral Pendulum into the Saurus Warriors. So the Wood Elves trying to fire back, but they are losing their Lord, and the damage they dished out against the Lizardmen infantry in return, I do not think comes out to an even trade. Over here, Chameleon Skinks getting routed, but we'll see if the Saurus Warriors can capitalize on that by getting a free charge on top of the Eternal Guard, who won't get a counter charge in return. And the balance of power has gone to the red player at this point, so we'll see what the Wood Elves can do. Got to keep their composure, got to get their archers back into a good pocket, and start screening for them so they can get the most damage, because right now it's absolutely imperative that they capitalize with the archers before the lizardmen gain any more ground. So right now the Salon Mage Priest in a dangerous position, very much in range of all of these archers, but they are going to change their target and start shooting the Coldland Spear Rider, which is going to give this Salon Mage Priest some respite. Over here, Banishment going down. Looking like it did a nice touch of damage. Once again, I apologize for missing all the epic magic plays. And the Coldland Spear Riders are diving into the backline. We have the Great Eagle diving in to combat them. And she should be okay as long as the Asteroid Spears get over here to support in time. But now we have Skink Cohort getting in the backline, mucking things up. And the Wood Elf formation is looking like it's under a lot of pressure right now. We have Saurus Warriors, these guys who got the free charge, starting to cleave their way through the Eternal Guard. And the rest of the Wood Elf front line is starting to look worse for wear. And we're even seeing some of the Eternal Guard in the center there begin to waver. And as soon as this formation is compromised, all of these archers are going to get taken out. As we see right now, they're beginning to waver and rout. But a nice play here from the Wood Elves, taking out those Coldland Spear Riders, and another big Penumbral Pendulum going into the Saurus Warriors. So Wood Elves definitely not going down without a fight. Taking a higher level view at the battlefield, I think the main problem that these Wood Elves have yet to deal with, and I don't know if they'll be able to deal with without those range units, are these two Feral Bastillodons with solar engines. These guys are absolutely going to dominate the rest of the battle here if the Wood Elves don't have anything to counter them. We're going to see a Tempest going down on top of the Great Eagle. It's going to be able to escape it by the looks of it without taking too much damage. But now the solar engines are back in range, and they're going to start opening fire into that Great Eagle, dodging the second one there with a nice dive into combat charge. And at this point, though, the balance of power is just getting further and further out of favor for the Wood Elves here. Coldland Spear Riders on the Lizardmen right flank are dominating. They're running around unchallenged in the back line now. Going to get on top of this remaining unit of Glade Guard with Hagbane tips. The other Glade Guard are really far out of position to be firing into anything valuable. We're going to see the Eagle start to rout. The Wild Hunters, who have just defeated the Lizardmen Spears on the left flank, are now coming back to the main engagement, but we'll see if they can get there in time. Looks like they're trying to save these Eternal Guard with a nice rear charge. And look at that, just in the nick of time, they're going to be able to get that rear charge and probably save the Eternal Guard, routing those Skink Cohort with that devastating charge. And now we'll see if the Wood Elves can turn in and start just capitalizing on top of these Chameleon Skinks. But there goes the Banishment, and the Banishment is going to knock out the remaining Spearmen in here, do some nice damage to the Wild Hunters. And the Chameleon Skinks are going to now be shooting them in the back as they turn away to run away from that Banishment. Yeah, very nice battle to both players and very close. And it was that one key misplay, don't want to harp on it, but that one key misplay from the Wood Elves here, letting that Glade Lord get caught in this sneaky Tempest and then deleted, that I think really lost them the game. Because if they had Prey of Anathrema there in the late game engagements when the Lizardmen were pressing the flanks with their spears, they could have netted him in place and knocked him out. But obviously hindsight's 20/20 as always, and it looks like the Lizardmen are going to take this first round. Wood Elf still trying to win the engagements where they can, though. Looks like they're going to have the Waystalker regain his leadership. The Eternal Guard over here are now hanging on. We have Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips coming back and routing the Skink Cohort by the looks of it. I mean, who knows? Crazier things have happened, guys. Nah, I'm just kidding. Army losses are kicking in. That's going to be a GG. Dot rip, I feel you there, man. Sometimes it's tough with the schedule to get in those tournaments, but speaking of tournament battles, this one was really nice. A nice play to both players, and really, GrayestWolf sealing the deal there with a very nice Tempest. That was the game-defining moment there. And, you know, obviously the Wood Elves could have still won it there, but from that moment onward, it was an uphill climb for them. Some great kills on top of the Wild Riders' shields. I do like this army a lot. I think it's very well balanced, has a little bit of everything to help counter units or factions that have those large units. So yeah, there's not really anything I would necessarily change here. I think it was just a matter of the Glade Lord getting out of position and getting punished for it. So great game to both players, and we'll see what happens in the second round here. So let's update that scoreboard and throw up the army blocker so we don't spoil anything. You thought it said Life Mage? Yeah, oh yeah, no, not a Life Mage. Life Mage would have been a lot better for you there, but that's why it's really important to check your opponent's leadership squad and see what abilities they have on them, because sometimes that can be the difference between victory and defeat. You know, if you would have been aware that he had a Tempest, I'm sure you wouldn't have gotten nearly as close and out of position there. So definitely one of those things I think you learn the hard way the more tournaments you play in. And I used to never check, but now I'm like religious about it. I have to see what abilities the Lords have on them because it completely defines how I play against them. So yeah, lesson learned for next tournament, bud. All right, this time we have High Elves versus the Empire. Okay, let's go ahead and watch the replay. Remove the blocker. So, Stormtrooper, he's going to have Techless with a Flamespire Phoenix. We have 3 Spearmen, 3 Archers, Lothran Seaguar with shields, 2 Silverhelms with shields, Rangers, and then some Lyran Reaver, some Lyran Reaver Archers. And for the Empire, 4 Spearmen, 2 with shields, 3 Swordsmen. You have the Silver Bullet handguns, and Crack of Karkan is the map once again. Empire Knights, 1 on the left flank, 1 on the right flank. We have some Demogryph Knights with halberds in the back line. We have the Sunmaker Hellstorm Rocket Battery. And then we also have a Warrior Priest who's going to have the Hammer of Sigmar to buff those Demogryph Knights in combat. He's going to have a Jade Wizard running around on foot with Regrowth, Earthblood, and Power Stone. We've got the Silver Bullet Handgunners in the center of this formation to shoot away with their magical armor-piercing shot. And then we have Karl Franz up in the air, Foe Seeker, Gal Moraz, Reichland Moonfang, Stand Your Ground, Hold the Line, and Blood Roar. So, going over Techless, though, who's on top of his Arcane Phoenix, we have Sword of Techless, Bound Fiery Convocation, Potion of Destroy, Regrowth, Enfeebling Foe, and that will be it besides all of those passives that he has on him. So, Techless and the Flamespire Phoenix going into the Empire Knights right away. Looks like they're going to be turning around, though, after dishing out a little bit of damage and killing a model. And pretty fair trade, all things considered, since they took no damage in return. But Karl Franz is going to run over here and start, counteracting that movement to keep them at a respectable distance. Over here, the Sunmaker coming in and just unleashing a devastating volley on top of the Spearmen. They're going to run back into the forest right now, trying to escape the fury of that artillery piece, but they're going to take another big rocket, and already they're down about 1/3 health. Bound Fiery Convocation was coming down, but without the Net of the Mintok, as we've seen plenty of times before, they're not going to be able to land it since it has such a long cast time. Elifor, thank you very much for the follow. But yeah, would have really liked to have seen a Net of Mintok on top of Techless to get the most value from that Bound Fiery Convocation. Right now, the Flamespire Phoenix is getting shot by the handguns, but it's going to try and bomb them. And ooh, that bomb did a lot of damage right there. And as long as they can take care of these guys, that's going to be a huge pickup for the High Elves. And Techless is actually chasing Karl Franz right now while he has Hammer of Sigmar popped on top of him. So right now, the Silver Helm is getting very well countered by this Flamespire Phoenix. I absolutely love it. He's not landing. He recognizes he can't land without dying. And we'll see if the Flamespire Phoenix can finish it off with the bombs. Oh, just slightly off timed. Over here, Karl Franz is starting to win the engagement against Techless, and Techless desperately need some support, and I think the Flamespire Phoenix might want to come over and help him out right now. Reichen, Runefang, Garl, Moraz, or Pop. The Enfeebling Foe is on top of him. Man, Teclis is actually putting up one hell of a fight. I love to see it. He's definitely my favorite High Elf Lord, and he's doing pretty well right now. Over here, the Silver Bullets, though, are right back in action, firing away. Karl Franz is coming after the Flamespire Phoenix, and Teclis is going to hit him in the back. There goes another bomb, hitting those handguns. And the High Elf Infantry, I'm sorry, I've been so absorbed in the hero combat, completely missed the approach. The Cavalry has come over here, gotten engaged with the Empire Knights, but now we have the Demogryph Knights with Halberds being supported by Spearmen diving in here, and this is looking pretty bad. Earthblood upgraded going down, and I think the High Elves have just picked a losing engagement with all of their cavalry forces. Teclis is in here desperately trying to support, but with the infantry support in the Empire's corner, I think that just by default means they're going to win it out here in the end. We have archers and 2 archers firing away here into the Empire army. But at this point, I think Teclis is going to be in an untenable situation. He's going to turn around and start running away right when the terror route kicks in on top of the Silverhelms. And Karl Franz is hot on his trail, but he's going to be able to get up in the air and pull through. Meanwhile, the handgunners still a thorn in the side of this High Elf army, as they are completely healthy. And oh man, or sorry, not completely healthy, but they're still combat effective at this point. The Flamespire Phoenix is going after the Jade Wizard, but when it comes to all of the regular engagements across the field, I just think the High Elves are really coming out short. We have the Rangers way back here who haven't been in combat yet. This could be a big bound fire complication though. Oh, yeah, it just takes so long to cast. Yeah. So once again, a nice dodge by the Empire player there, but in my experience, without the Net of Mintok, fire convocation is just too hard to get a successful connection on because its cast time is so long. Over here, Empire Knights chasing down the Illyrian Reaver archers. And the High Elves actually getting a nice pick up here against the Empire Knights, so we'll see what they can do. Both of the Silver Helms are now both coming into combat. We have the Rangers coming out here. We have Teclis fighting Karl Franz, but Karl Franz has gotten a regrowth, and he is right back in top form to lay down some hurt on top of Teclis. So Teclis is going to be a bit outclassed there. We have the Rangers diving in to the swordsmen, but Karl Franz has dived down to support. Reichen, Runefang, Garl, Moraz, everything is active on top of him. And there goes, oh, look at that! Flamespire Phoenix got a regrowth, but then it also popped its rebirth feature, and it's not going to make a difference in the end. Demogryph Knights are coming in, pinning Teclis in place, and I don't think Teclis and the Flamespire Phoenix are going to be able to pull this off. Yeah, unless Teclis gets out of here ASAP, he's going to go down. Flamespire Phoenix is dead. Just like your pet parakeet when you were a kid, it's going to die with its claws up. And Teclis, oh no, the Empire's going to let him get away. A huge miss there from the Empire. They could have sealed the fate of the High Elves right then and there. The High Elf archers are actually getting a lot of value in right now. They've pretty much gone on challenge once the Sunmaker ran out of ammunition. Terror kicking in on top of the Empire Spearmen, and now Teclis is the one who has some infantry support, and Karl Franz is in combat with Lothran, Seaguard, and Spearmen as his infantry and cavalry rout away from that engagement. Teclis looks like he may be trying to come over here and take out the Demogryph Knights while Karl Franz is busy, but it may be a risky decision, but a regrowth is getting cast down on top of him to heal him right back up, but the Warrior Priest is coming by to lay down some hurt, and now Karl Franz, the big man himself, the Empire of Man, the Emperor of Man, is diving into combat, and this is the fight that will decide the fate of this battle. If Teclis miraculously kills off Karl Franz, then it may go the other way, but at the moment it looks like Teclis is wavering and probably going to get killed here before he can even pull out. A close defeat, look at that. He's not dead, but Karl Franz is in a precarious position to say the least. Hey, Incarcerated, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, my friend. quickly change her formation after one Phoenix bomb did like half HP damage. Yeah, when they were in that thick box formation, GrayestWolf, those bombs were killer. And, you know, Holo, nice play with the bombs there. Those are awesome. I love those bombs. A lot of players underestimate them, forget about them. They do require some micro, as we saw there. They're hard to land. But once you get them to land, they can get a lot of value if you hit the right targets. High Elf weakest race, not. No, High Elves are so good. But great game, and let's update that scoreboard. It's 2-0, and I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to spoil the outcome. But according to the scoreboard in the tournament bracket, and also the replays they sent me, they only played a best of 3. For future reference, guys, final is best of 5, so you should have kept playing. But yeah, since you guys, the tournament's already over, you played those matches, it's going to be a 2-0 victory for GrayestWolf. But HoloTheWiseWolfy, great games, very strong display in the semifinals, and also a very strong display here in the finals. And GrayestWolf, same to you, man. Congrats for winning tournament number 8 of the Fresh Recruit League. You automatically qualify for the Fresh Recruit playoffs coming up in August. I'll keep you posted on the date and the coaches who you guys can choose from to be your coach for the playoffs. And should be a good time. So hope to see you guys all moving forward into the season. And yeah, Holo and GrayestWolf, did you guys just accidentally only play a best of 3, or did you not have enough time to play all of them, or just curious as to what happened there? Oh, 164 kills on top of the Sunmaker. Oh, gotcha. So it was my mods. Okay, thanks for the info. My bad. My mods probably told me that, and I probably just forgot. But it makes sense if the tournament was going long or something, just to do best of 3. So, still, great games to both of you. So, congrats. You should be proud. I hope you enjoyed the replays. I hope the feedback was relevant and you felt it was useful. That's what I aim to do with the feedback. Try to be nice and respectful, but I also try to be honest and not sugarcoat mistakes when I see them. So, I would say both of you, very strong performances here. You should definitely be playing the regular tournaments on Saturday if you aren't already. Can't say you'll win them, but I do think you're ready for that level of play, and it'll be a good experience for you to get your butt whooped maybe by the likes of a Falcon or somebody like that. So what I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm going to end the stream, but I'll probably... Yeah, I can't guarantee I'll come back because I do want to stream some more. But I also really want to go watch The Five Bloods, the new movie on Netflix, because I read a book about black vets in the Vietnam War that I found very fascinating, and the topic of the movie is relevant to that. So I do want to go watch that, I believe, because I'm a sucker for historical films, and I'm hoping this one is good and is true to the source material and handles it in a respectful manner, which I'm sure it will based on the reviews I've seen. So, yeah, I'll probably stop streaming for the night from there, but if I do tune in later, it'll be a nice little treat for all y'all. So, thank you once again to all the new followers, to the viewers, and especially to the players who are participating in these tournaments. You guys make it worth it all the time with the innovation and the fun tactics I get to see on display every week when I'm casting these replays or watching the tournaments live. So... But it's always a bit funny when playing the game. I feel like there's a constant action and everything is moving, but now looking at the replay, there are just so many units just tilling around because I forgot to micro them. GrayestWolf, that's the value of watching replays, man. I know when I would watch my replays when I first started playing the game, it was always so painful, and I'd be like, what the hell? Back when Ninja Hunt would cast my games with his tournaments is when I first started playing in them. And yeah, I'd be like watching the replay cast of his stream and see that I left a unit of cavalry, or I forgot my Ragnarok Queen or something just in the back lines for the whole battle. And it's painful to see, but it's so important, and it helps you improve so much as a player, because seeing that third person point of view, watching what you're doing and seeing the mistakes in real time, it really helps you improve and get better and be more aware of the micro you may otherwise be forgetting. So yeah, but I know what you mean. In the battle, it's just hectic as hell, and it always feels like you're doing something. That's why this game is such a high skill cap and such a steep learning curve, because there is so much room for mistakes to be made. You know, you have to individually micro an entire army consisting of abilities, spells, different mass, different speeds, flying units, cavalry units. It's just like there's so much going on. It's very taxing on the brain and your micro skills. So appreciate you guys for putting up with it and sticking through it. I hope the Fresh Recruit League is a good tool for you guys to get your feet wet and get more confident in the game. But on that note, I'm going to stop pontificating and I'm going to head out of here. So take care of yourselves, guys. My SanHW signing out, and I'll see you all next time.